actually into play. Mini War Gaming's Beat Matt Bat Rap.
Welcome back to Beat Matt Bat Rap, Season 2, Episode 20, Matthew vs. Matthew. This is Tyranids turn 3. So now I'm not quite so sure. You have to look at everything. Both Tyranids and Necrons have taken some heavy losses here. Now the Doom of Malantai is going to come in. Those Termagants had to take an instinctive behavior test and they failed it, so those three guys are going to lurk. Not too big a deal. My Ascetic Spore scatters really far back, so he's not going to be in the 6-inch range of the Lich Guard like he wanted to. The Termagant decides to get off that objective and try to take out those death marks. And then we got all the Termagants moving over. They're going to help with the Ripper Swarms to multi-assault into that Lich Guard group, which hopefully I can overwhelm them. That seems to be their weakness. Trigon moves over to get ready to engage the Monolith, and then we get all the Gargoyles moving over to try to engage those Warriors. They will kind of jump into dangerous terrain there with a couple of them, so we'll roll for those two, but they're both fine, so we roll 2 6s rather than 1s. And then the other Ripper Swarms move around, and the Zoanthrope moves up as well to try his Warp Lance against the Monolith. So, try to suck the brains out of these Death Marks. They make their roll, so the Tyranids make all the Mindshackle Scarab rolls, and he's making a Doom of Malantai roll. And then shots from the Spore manage to kill one of the Death Marks, and we get the shots from the Tervagon. 4 solid hits, but only 1 wound, and that was saved. And then the Doom of Malantai tries a Psychic shot, which fires at the Lich Guard and gets a direct hit. And so this is only strength 4, fails to wound any of them, and then I lose D3 wounds. I lose 3 of the 4 wounds, so he's down to 1 wound, 1 strength. All the rest of the Termagants fire into the Lich Guard, and they manage some hits. They manage 2 wounds, and 2 of them go down. So the Termagants killed more of the Lich Guard than the Doom of Malantai did. That's just sad. Zoanthrope fires his Warp Lance, manages to get a Psychic test this time, and even manages to hit, and strength 10, and he rolls a 1 against the Monolith. And that's just kind of pathetic. The Gargoyles then fire into the Warriors and do nothing. The Death Mark does not stand back up. And then the Lich Guard, do they run? They do not. Do the 2 guys stand back up? They do not. So that's actually pretty heavy losses there to have those 2 Lich Guard go down to just Termagant fire. Then we get lots of multi-assaulting here from the Ripper Swarms and the Termagants. And then we're charging in with the Gargoyles as well. And the Trigon, of course, is going to charge into the Monolith and hopefully take it down. Although it's still a tough nut to crack. Mindshackle Scarabs against the Ripper Swarms. Of course, the Ripper Swarms fail. Not a big deal, though. Termagants get to go first. They get lots of attacks, hitting on 4s, and then wounding on 6s, unfortunately. They don't have Toxin Sacks or anything. 1 wound in total, and he makes that. Then the 1 Ripper Swarm attacks his buddies, hits them twice, and wounds once, and they make their save. The rest of them get to attack. This is the same initiative as the Lich Guard, though, so any ones that they kill still get to hit. Whiff so many of those. That was 25 hits, or 25 rolls, and 6 of those make it, and those are on 4 pluses. But out of those 6, managed to kill 3 of them, so kind of swings back in my favor there. He gets to hit first, though, before he fully dies, and manages to kill 2 Termagants, and then he gets to hit the Ripper Swarms, and he does insta-kill them, so that's going to be a problem. And I'm referring to him in the 3rd person again, when it's really just me playing the Necrons. But 2 Ripper Swarms, or only one Ripper Swarm goes down, but I still lose combat. Tyranids lose combat, that is. And a couple more Termagants go down, and a couple wounds, or 1 wound off of the 1 Ripper Swarm as well. So, pretty tied up there. Do the guys stand back up? Of course, 2 out of 3 of them do. So, finally Lich Guard making their reanimations protocols, rather than just staying dead. Warriors get to hit the Gargoyles first, hitting on 3s, winning on 3s. Actually pretty solid, killing 5 of the 8 Gargoyles. Only 3 of the Gargoyles left to hit. Of course, they get 6 attacks, hitting on 4s. 6 is auto-wounding. Those are 2 auto-wounds and that's it, but both of those saves are made. So I take 5 extra wounds, and the last 3 Gargoyles go down. So that's a complete fail. No Warriors die. All the Gargoyles die, and on top of that, the Warriors got to consolidate forward. Now, a funny story right here. The Trigon should have rolled to see if he hit. Instead, I made auto hits, but as you're seeing here, he does absolutely nothing to the Monolith. 7 attacks, needing 8s on 2 dice, doesn't get it once. It doesn't matter that I forgot to roll to hit. He didn't do any damage to that Monolith. Death Marks move out of the Doom of Malantai's influence, just to add insult to injury, and then they just fire like crazy into him, and it dies. So, Doom of Malantai, complete fail as well. Monolith turns around, decides that it wants to try to suck the Trigon into its portal, but it does not work. I had to roll a 6 there. So instead he just resorts to firing with his weapons, which does nothing. Fires at the Termagants as well, and also does nothing. Warriors then fire at the Zoanthrope. They are in rapid fire range, so they get lots of hits. A bunch of wounds, 3+ invulnerable, and the Zoanthrope is dead as well. So swinging in the favor of Necrons at this point. Mindshackle Scarab's Ripper Swarm does fail. Termagants do get to hit first, however. Hitting on 4s, winning on 6s, no wounds. And then the Ripper Swarm hits his buddies twice, and then does 2 wounds, and no saves there. So 2 wounds go down on the Ripper Swarms. Doing the Ripper Swarms attacks against the Lich Guard, remember this is the same initiative as the Lich Guard, so they get to hit back even if they die, but they don't die. So now they're going to hit back. First group against the first group of Ripper Swarms actually fails 2 out of 3 of those 2+2 wounds, but kills 1 Ripper Swarm outright because of instant death. Second one does the same thing, just failing the rolls, but still managing to kill another Ripper Swarm. That's 6 wounds total that he's inflicted, remember, and then kills 2 Termagants. So it's 8 wounds total. I lose combat by 8. So this Ripper Swarm group takes 8 extra wounds and dies. This Ripper Swarm group takes 8 extra wounds and dies. And then the Termagants take 8 extra wounds and die. So all those are dead. Out of all that charging, I think only 1 Lich Guard went down. Permanently, that is. So end of round 3. You can see the momentum has really swung back in the Necrons' favor. In 1 round, they've managed to take out a lot of the Tyranids. Lich Guard are still alive here. However, he only has 1 troop choice. And I still have a couple. I have that Tervagon, and I still have that small group of Termagants. And that Trigon is still alive right beside his only troop choice. So round 4, we're going to see what happens. So click on the link in the video description below or the annotation if you're on YouTube.